This is the 2023 Toyota Prius. I've been driving this thing for about a week, and today I'm going to show you things that I like and things that I don't like about the new Prius. And especially because I am a tall person, I'll let you know what I really think about the space and the driving part. So let's talk about it. Let's start first with the good stuff, sort of with the dessert. The first one is, of course, the way this thing looks. In my opinion, this got to be the best looking Prius ever made, especially the design, the drag rates as well, which are apparently close to a Lamborghini, things that you probably know by now because you've watched so many reviews. But I have to say, this thing is totally different from any other Prius. In fact, my wife said today, when she jumped in for the first time, is this a Prius? Even the rear end, it's unlike other Priuses. In fact, this got to look more like a hatchback than a sedan. I love how the rear end looks, the way they have designed specifically this area over here. We have the tail lights, and then you have the badge at the top. You got two cameras in the back, and then you have the letters Prius. Also, this, of course, is a hybrid, so you have the badge located onto the side. And to let you know that this is the limited package, there is the badge right at the top. But overall, the way this is designed, the rear end, in my opinion, it's something very unique. And I have to say, Toyota absolutely killed the design of this thing. Even when you look at this on the side profile, it actually looks fast. The way the air flows from the front end all the way to the back, it's unlike any other Priuses. But here's one thing you need to know about this. This changes the drag efficiency based on the wheel size. So if you get the 17-inch, well, you get a lower number. And if you put the 19-inch, you get a much higher number. The design at the rear is all about controlling the airflow. And if you look carefully, the sides are cut away from the B-pillar to the rear wheels to make the shape more efficient. The new Prius is relatively very small in comparison to other vehicles in 2023. Even with the slightest growth, it measures at 181.1 inches. It is wider and longer in comparison to the outgoing model. And of course, to help with the airflow, they have changed the design radically, including the rear doors. Like, for example, you wouldn't find door handles like a normal sedan, although they are in the front in a position where it should be. In the back, they've changed it completely. Like, you have the button located on the side here, you push that and it opens the door. And in case if that breaks, there is another button over here. You press that all the way down mechanically and it opens the door. But it doesn't end there. The master designer of this vehicle really thought about the smallest details. Like, for example, the side profile, the bottom part over here, it's designed for better airflow. In most cars, you'd see this straight. Not in this. It goes a bit straight at the front and it curves all the way in this side. So that way it gives the best aerodynamic. So in this case, will give you the best fuel efficiency. They've thought about the smallest details in this car, which I absolutely love that. In most cars, the shark fin is sort of glued in. In most cases, it would be separated from the roof. Not with the Prius. In fact, if you look at it carefully, it actually fits the description of a shark fin because it is totally attached to the actual roof over here. And why is that? Because they're trying to achieve the best aerodynamic numbers they can for the best fuel efficiency. Even when you jump onto the interior, it's a very unique car. Like, for example, the actual steering column and the cluster, it looks like a fighter jet. I absolutely love how this thing is designed. Then we have this massive screen in the middle, which it is touchscreen, all sorts of tech features. So, for example, 360 camera, you have a wireless charging pad, which I absolutely love the way they have designed it. There we go. The phone, for example, this is mine. It's a 14 Pro Max. Let's give it a try if it's gonna fit in it. But it's sort of like a glove, which I love. There you go. That's it. It fits right in. So in case if you're worried about this thing sliding left and right or just popping out, you don't have to, because you just slide it right in, and then there's a power button right there, and then now you can charge your phone. Another thing I love about this is the center area. You're still getting buttons for your heated seats, your heated steering wheel, ventilated seats for the front. You only have power seat for the driver's side with the limited package, but not for the passenger in the front. I love this part over here, which is the rear view mirror that turns into a full LCD with the camera located at the back, which again, this is very helpful because talking about the negative stuff, this doesn't have the best visibility in the rear end, which I think this one comes in real handy. Even the seats are nice and comfortable and shaped in very unique way, but yet very comfy. Let's talk about another thing that I absolutely love about the Prius, the Easter eggs. You see, this thing is very unique, and the more time you spend with it, the more things you find out one by one. The first thing that I found out accidentally in this car, without even looking it up online, is this area over here. Now, it looks like a normal compartment, and there's this button over here. So what is that? Now, if you do this, look carefully, look at that. There is a hidden compartment underneath in case if you need extra space. And then if you look carefully over into this area, where is for the driver assistant package, there is this little icon here that shows the Toyota Prius. If you look carefully, look at that. A nice hidden detail, which I happened to find out as I was cleaning the windshield. Another thing I noticed with this is the letters Prius located onto the side of the headlight. Now that's a very nice touch. And another one, of course, which is easily spotted, is the letter Prius onto the actual rear windshield. Then on the side of the dashboard, you have the Prius icon, which I think it looks more like a supercar than it looks like a Prius. The same thing on the front windshield. Over at the top over here, it says Prius. Now this is easily spotted because when you get in, you get to look at this part here, and now you know that you're driving or you're getting into a Prius. You also get a split panoramic roof with this thing, and it's small, but yet, look at that. You have one in the back and one in the front so that it brightens the interior. The next thing that impressed me with this new Prius is the price. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not the cheapest car you can buy. If you think about it, you're getting a hybrid all-wheel drive with amazing MPG or fuel efficiency, liters per kilometer in Canada, and you're also getting a good daily sedan. There's, like, for example, the price in Canada for this starts at about $39,000, and the one that we have for today's video starts at about $42,000. With the amount of tech features, with the actual driving capability of this, for example, that is an all-wheel drive, and of course the way it looks, this is an absolute bargain in many ways because you're saving a ton of money on fuel every year, and you also get an all-wheel drive Prius for winter. In case if you live in Canada, that does help quite a lot. Hence why I think the price is just right. Now let's talk about the negative stuff, and you probably have figured out the first one. Space. This thing in the second row, it's actually not the most spacious thing, and for me that I'm 6'2", well, even if I went like this, it even gets worse. So I wouldn't enjoy being a passenger in the second row. I do appreciate that I have heated seats here, but the comfort part is not quite there for me. And the next thing I want to talk about is the child seat. You see, I put my son's child seat in here, and I had to move a few things around to get it inside in the second row. But something else happened. The seat in the front, well, becomes totally unusable for most people unless you want to put a child in here who is legally allowed to sit in the front. And that's another problem with this. It's a bit tiny on the inside. Although I do appreciate the aerodynamic part of this car, well, let me put it this way. I don't get enough space in the trunk, especially with the baby stroller right now. Take a look yourself. I could probably fit maybe a couple of bags, and that's about it. It doesn't offer the most cargo space. One good thing about this is that underneath it does have these compartments. And one thing they've thought about is the compartment itself. It's made of foam, just so that it's much lighter and that way gives you better fuel efficiency. Although I do appreciate the design here, I love this fighter jet style steering column and of course the cluster. For me, well, I don't get to see much of that cluster. Zero to 60. There we go. Okay, come on. Come on, sport mode, all-wheel drive. We're getting there. 8 seconds. 0 to 100 in 8 seconds, 0 to 60 in 7.6. That's actually not bad at all for this thing. Now let's talk about how this drives, now that we know that it's not that fast. One thing that shocked me about this car is when I picked it up, how comfortable it is inside. And I mean this in every way possible. Like, for example, the ride is smooth. It's so enjoyable just to drive this thing. And I've never experienced something like this, to be honest. Like, it has a very unique way. What I mean with that, like, the ride is very soft. It feels like it's cutting through the air with no problem. Even today that is slightly windy, it's doing a fantastic job. It actually feels like a spaceship inside here. I love the interior lighting, minus the cluster thing that I mentioned previously. This has a very comfortable ride. One thing that I could complain a little bit is the road noise. You do hear it a bit much. Not a lot, just a bit. Like, for example, I can hear the wind a little bit. But I love how this just drives overall. It's not a high performance vehicle, even though, you know, the physics part of it, it's designed in a way to be a very high performance design. And it's about time that you don't feel embarrassed about driving a Prius anymore in comparison to before, because everybody, you know, made sort of fun of this car in many ways. But it's actually a very affordable car, yet fuel efficient. I understand that for some people, $40,000 Canadian, it might be a much, but don't forget what you're getting here in terms of tech features, in terms of the ride quality, fuel efficiency, and of course the Toyota reliability. The steering wheel is light. It's actually shockingly very light, but I enjoy this. I enjoy this quite a lot.